What's going on, everybody? It is me, Taylor Strange, owner and founder of Monarch Beauty Aesthetics and owner of Results-Based Business Solutions. Coming to tell you today about the top 5 mistakes I most commonly see with new business owners when they open their med spa. And these top 5 things aren't just some shit that I rattled off the top of my head. I belong to several different groups of fellow owners in the med spa aesthetic space, and so I hear it from them frequently. These top 5 things repeated over and over again, and honestly, it's some of these issues are challenges that I and my wife had when we first opened our business as well. So, had I had could do it over again, I would have done a few things differently. But the number one thing that I commonly see are inefficient systems. Now, this ranges from the booking system for your patient, that client experience, that goes with your marketing systems, your follow-up systems, how you do everything in between. Basically, anything that you repeat one day to the next, it requires a system. And a lot of the times I see just these crazy broken systems that nothing really is seamless. It's everything's a task and takes twice as long to actually do than what it would if things were set up properly. So it's really important for you as a current business owner or somebody who wants to open their own practice to really understand, what am I going to have to repeat every single day, and then come up with a system. I mean, it's just like sighting in a gun. You're going to have to shoot the motherfucker, the MFer, at least once to be able to sight it in. So shoot your gun, create your system, and then refine over time. And it's going to be the same thing with everything in your business. It's always going to progress and adjust. That is, if you're doing a good job of keeping up with things and trying to improve your business. So number one is inefficient systems by far. So, and the second, and this is a very close second here, is bad hires. And I have personally been very responsible for this, not only in the aesthetic space, but in my past endeavors as a real estate broker as well. I have made a few bad hires in my life, and I paid the price for it. So I do know moving forward how big of an issue that is, not only for myself, but other people that share the same space as I do. And that is a loaded subject. When you can't change people necessarily. You can bring the best out in people, but you can't necessarily change them. And a lot of times as employers, we look at somebody and think, oh man, how much money can they make me? Oh, they're a great fit for this job. They're so educated. They're so experienced. And we ignore the important things like attitude, presentation, character. I would rather take somebody that has no idea what they're doing, that has a positive attitude, is hungry, enthusiastic, and is going to be loyal. Now, there's really no solution to say, hey, be a good judge of character, right? That's all I can say. Be a good judge of character. And it's so vague and obscure. It's like, well, what the hell does that even mean? I would tell you in the job interview, in the interviewing process, focus on them as an individual and get to know them. Like, what do they want out of a place of employment? What's important to them? Do they have kids? What are their future goals? Really dig in with that individual, because ultimately, if we do our job as business owners and have an idea of what everybody needs in regards to our staff, we're going to know it pretty well. Now, I am not a medical professional. My wife is, so it's not like I can go in there and start showing these chicks how to inject toxin, you know? That's on my wife's end. However, you're going to have an idea of what it is that you are looking for, even though you may not know the specific talent or the specific skill for it. So the point is, anybody can be trained in what it is they need to do as far as a function is concerned, what they need to execute. But you cannot teach a good attitude. You can't make somebody that's dishonest honest. A tiger doesn't change his stripes, man. And if you keep trying to fit a round peg into a square hole with your employees, it's only going to blow up in your face. It's blown up in my stupid face before, trying to see the best in people and thinking I know everything. And it can be rough. But aside from having a poor judge of character like I had in some cases, it also comes down to poor leadership. Now, you can take somebody that's on the cusp that has great qualities and poor qualities as far as, just being a human is concerned. And a good leader can bring out the best. A poor leader can bring out the worst. And so it may not even necessarily be the individual that you're hiring so much as what it is, how are you as a leader? That's a big one. You know, just because we open up a business doesn't mean that people are going to fucking listen to us and respect what we have to say. And that's a whole other ball game when it comes to leadership, about how to lead by example, that you have to be the boss for a reason, and that you can do more, know more, and that there is a reason that you're put in that position of power and you can't abuse it. So that's another video for another time. So that is the second mistake that I commonly see amongst new business owners in this space: poor hires. Number 3 would be a poor online presence. And I can't tell you, man, as a new business or even a mature business, it makes no difference. Your online presence is absolutely everything. Especially if you're starting out and you have no book of business, dude, you better be looking, number one, like you're busy, and number 2, you know what the hell you're doing, and you're an authority on what it is that you're doing, which in this case is injections or laser treatments, whatever that may be. So even though we are a new business, right, there's so much leverage to gain from your online presence. Even if you don't have appointments, dude, you can get your friends in there for free and zap them with a free laser, give them free toxin, get somebody in there to record that, you know, edit that down. You have so many resources available to you as a new business owner on a zero budget, like nothing, you know, like if you do have a device, how much does it honestly cost you to zap that person in the face or armpits or lips or wherever the hell you're zapping for content? It doesn't cost anything. You know, you've already paid for the device. Now, if you're paying somebody an hourly wage, now, then you probably shouldn't yet. You should probably be absorbing that work before you try to start scaling these things out. And this is like what I talk about. You need to grow where you're planted. So if you open up a brand new business, you have nobody on the books, it's just you running the show, give away shit. Do things for free, film it, put it out there, take pictures of it, really just expand yourself and what you're doing in its greatest light possible. And so a lot of times I see the exact opposite. I see these awesome med spas that just turn over business that don't necessarily convey that message to the public as well as what they could. And this includes Google reviews, your social media content, the quality, the consistency, your engagement rate, your Google optimization. How good does it look? Like how seriously can I take you as a business? Because all we can do as consumers, we can only judge by what we can see online, you know, and it's so deceiving. And, you know, as a millennial, that is an advantage that my wife and I had. We did know how to leverage presentation to really gain an advantage on our competition. So that's number 3. Poor online presence. There's so much you can do to correct that takes very little time and very little money and very little skill. So make sure you take care of your online stuff. Number 4 would be inconsistency. Now, this is especially true when owners have their own team, their own staff, their injectors, their estheticians, whatever that may be. This is part of leadership as well. When you own a business, it is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job, at least for 2 years. And that's being optimistic. You are going to have to be in the trenches all the time. And that includes taking phone calls. If somebody's pissed off at you, you're going to have to get back with them, dealing with vendors, salespeople, staff, whatever it may be. And you always have to be on point. And I've seen this with myself. It's a quality that I've really had to work on, that I've gotten much better with. And you know, we see it with everybody because we're human. You know, if we're going balls out constantly, you're going to crash at some point in time. I've done it. My wife's done it, and I've seen it from several other very successful people. However, they pay the price. They pay the price with that. I've paid the price. When we step back for a second, especially if we have that team and they can no longer, we're not there in front of them seeing our face. We're on vacation or we're away for some time, or they'll get to it, whatever it may be, where we're excusing things. Man, that is cancer inside of your team. They don't give a shit. The cat's away and the mice will play, baby, and that's what they're doing. So any type of inconsistency that your team can see, that your staff can see, or even your own books, man, if you're running this thing yourself and you are also treating patients, your books are going to reflect that. You know, you're not going to have a very good month. And shit, I can really tell all that time that I took off. And not to say that we don't own businesses to enjoy our fucking life, because we do. I mean, I love it. There's no other way I would rather live than to have my own business and to delegate things to people and let them make an awesome living and everybody's fucking happy. It's a great, great way of life. However, there's a time to work and there's a time to play. And as a new business owner, you're not really going to play a whole lot. And if you do, it needs to be for 2 or 3 days at a time to get your ass back to work. That's just how it is. The longer you can fall off, or the longer you do fall off, the more repercussions that you're going to absorb later on. So inconsistency, get your shit together. And the last thing that I commonly see are owners majoring in minor things. Putting too much attention on shit that makes no difference. You know, an example of this would be, okay, you have a customer that calls in and they're just a pain in the ass. They're sending you up the road, man. And instead of dropping it, resolving it, refunding it, moving forward, sit and dwell on it. What should we do? Oh, I got to call this lady back. What are we going to do? You know, it could be as simple as a bad hire. You have somebody that consistently shows up late or calls in, or is just not living up to expectations. Get rid of them, man. When we have these things that come up that distract us from the main thing, which is making money and delivering world-class service, then it deters us, and the main thing is no longer the main thing. Now we're worried about dumb shit. We forgot to call that one sales guy back about some new skincare that we don't give a shit about. We forgot to call Mrs. Jones back over here. We're actually scared to call Mrs. Jones because she's pissed that we dropped her eyelid. You know, all these different things that come to us throughout the day or throughout the week or throughout our career as a business owner. Man, make decisions quickly and get the fuck on with it, man. If it's not about generating money, saving money, or making your life easier, then fuck it. It doesn't matter. Have boundaries and don't let yourself or others cross those boundaries. Make decisions, make them quickly. And if they're wrong decisions, you'll figure that out on the back end. But the worst thing you can do is nothing and let that one little problem eat at you and eat at you and eat at you. So don't get caught up in the mundane bullshit. Keep the main thing, making money, delivering world-class service, and living an awesome fucking quality of life. So that's all I've got. Check out my links if you want a consultation with me. It's totally worth it because it's free. See you guys.